This is Kevin. He's a young doodle with lots of energy, and standing still definitely isn't his favorite thing. Let's see if we can get this squirrely boy through his groom. We're going to start Kevin's groom with a good brushing and combing of his coat. He's already been bathed and dried, but we still have to do a little bit of brush work in order to get him prepared for the clippers. Now, Kevin is still a really young dog. He has been groomed multiple times, however, he's still in the learning process. So while I do want to take my time with him, I also don't want to leave him on the table all day. So I'm trying to get through this groom while he's still happy. One thing you'll notice with puppies is they move a lot, and Kevin sure does. But what I do is I don't prevent them from moving, I move with them. So if you notice when I'm holding, if he moves, I move. That's for the safety of the dog. We don't want a dog to pull and end up getting hurt. But we are using sharp objects, so we do have to hold so that way they don't jump and get hurt that way as well. Now you'll see right here is where we have quite a bit of the matting. So I'm going to go ahead and start brushing on it. Now this is what Kevin doesn't love. He doesn't bite or anything like that for this, but it's just uncomfortable. My rule with matting is if there's just a little bit, I will go ahead and brush or split it out. If I have to, I can shave parts out. Of course, I wouldn't shave right here because it's right on his neck, but if it's under the armpits or around the sanitary, I will shave out matting. However, if a dog is heavily matted, I do tell the owners we do need to go into a shorter cut and let the hair grow back. I've already sprayed on some conditioner, so now I'm going to just work with my brush and see if I can get the matting out. I noticed I'm having a little trouble, so I'm going to use a mat splitter. It just splits the mats so I can brush them out easier and then be able to use my comb. So I'm just going to keep working on this area until I feel like I have it good enough, and then I'll go back in with my brush and see if it seems to be mat free. Now the only way to tell if something's really mat free is to use a comb. I tell all of my clients that the comb never lies. If you want to know if your dog is actually brushed out, use a comb. Now Kevin has a great texture to his hair, so he doesn't typically get very matted right here. So it was unusual that he had so much matting today. He does wear a harness, so I'm thinking maybe the harness was partially to blame for this, but we get it out in the end, so we're just going to keep working on it. So now that I feel like I have it brushed out pretty well, I'm going to go in with my longest clipper comb, which is the E comb, and I'm going to use that on him. We still leave him in a pretty long cut because we want him to keep that puppy look. So I do a reverse underneath most dogs' necks. It just gives a cleaner appearance when you're shaping the head. Now that I have his neck done, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my comb and my brush and demat any spots on the head. I really like to get the head and the top knot fixed up before I go on to the rest of the body. It just makes it much easier. The head seems to take the longest time. I like to continually go over things, so I like to do that first before the dog's tired. It makes it easier in the end. So I like to start on the corner of the eyes, but you're going to notice this is where Kevin gets a little bit squirrely. So I just try to move with him while keeping him comfortable and safe. So Kevin's parents like a larger head left on him, so I'm going to leave a little bit more on the top knot than I normally would. We're also trying to grow out his mustache and beard area. When he first came in, it was very, very thin, and we've been working hard to grow it out. I do still like to shape it because otherwise it just looks straggly, but I do leave a little bit more than I typically would. So this is where you see him start to move quite a bit. You'll see that I'm holding onto his muzzle, and I'm doing that to keep him safe, so that way I don't accidentally cut an ear or cut a face. We really don't want to have that happen. So I like to have a little bit of a hold so that way I can control the movement to some degree, while still letting him be flexible and move. So his face is filling in nicely, but I'm going to tidy up the edges so it doesn't look straggly. Now at the end, I like to comb it all down and go over it one more time to make sure I'm getting a nice finish above those eyebrows. I don't want a lot of hair hanging over. They need to be able to see. So you have to be really patient when working with puppies. You can become frustrated, but I know he's not doing this to be bad. He's just wiggly, and that's totally fine with me. I have plenty of time. I do not overbook myself because I want to give each dog their individual attention. Now we are letting his ears grow out as well, but you'll notice just by clipping the ends of them and kind of tightening them up closer to his beard length, it really helps the face look a little bit more balanced. I'm just following along the line the best I can to clip that ear into the head so that way it looks a little rounder. So now that I've got his head mostly done, I'm going to go on to his nails. Typically I would have already had this done, but Kevin is not a fan of having his feet or nails touched, so I waited and got his face done first. You'll notice that right under his neck there's a little clip, and that's actually clipping him into the pole of the table. That's preventing him from being able to bite my hand. You'll notice here in a minute he licks my hand, and that's a very big warning sign that a dog is not happy with what you're doing. I know it's just a lick, but as a dog groomer for over 15 years, I have learned that small lick of his lips or trying to lick my hand is him telling me that he's not a fan. He did great, he let me finish him, but I like to have something on him just as a precaution so I don't get bit. Now that we have those nails done, I'm going to go ahead and take my comb with my clippers and go over his body, blending the neck that we already did into the rest of his body. We leave him in a longer cut in order to keep that puppy look. Now with that longer cut comes a lot of brushing at home. His mom does a lot of brushing to keep him in good shape. So after I've gone over the dog with a clipper comb, I always go through and hand scissor. Now Kevin is a pet, he is not a show dog, and he's still a puppy. So I hand scissor some, but I try not to push it and try to make it perfect. He doesn't want to stay on the table all day, and it's already a long groom just based on his size and hair type. So I do minimal amounts of scissoring, but enough to make him look cute. Now the last thing I do is step back from the table and look at the dog. I always know that I'm going to do some tidying on the face because that's a really important part of the dog's groom is how their face looks. So I always want to save that piece to the very end so we get the perfect finish. You'll notice the side eye on Kevin. My husband picked this exact time to bring me out my water, so as I was trying to put the finishing touch on him, he was very interested in who else was in the shop. I think it's really cute how he just moves his little eyes over to see who it is. Kevin is just one of the many Doodles I groom. Doodles are the most popular breed I groom, so if you're interested in dog grooming or dogs like Kevin, please subscribe and follow along. I have plenty to show.